Good evening, YouTube. You got J. Crew to you, coming here to you today, January 18th, 2023, with a quick video here. First thing I gotta say is, how about them dogs? Of course, yeah, I know for a lot of you, like, man, you 2 weeks late, ain't you? Like, no, sir. I want to do a quick video about the UGA University of Georgia Bulldogs beating the crap out of the Texas Christian University Hornfrogs. For anybody who watched that joke of a national championship game on January 9th, last Monday or a couple of Monday nights ago, you probably were laughing at what you were seeing. As I told everyone, it looked like it was almost an NFL team wearing red colors and, masquerading as the Georgia Bulldogs, playing a high school team who was masked as the college football TCU Hornfrogs. If you watched that game, you were probably bored to death. You probably were yawning your way through that game. If you watched it, you saw that Georgia basically, by accident, only gave up one touchdown and just beat the bejesus out of this TCU Hornfrogs to the tune of 65-7. The game was only close maybe in the fourth quarter, but beyond that, it was just a show, and it was proof that teams from the SEC simply are better than other teams from other conferences. At UGA, you have a team that's always been in the Southeastern Conference. And the reason I'm even saying that is that there's this perception that the Southeastern Conference is just better than any other conference. And that game did nothing to disprove that notion. When you have a team that kind of beats up on someone so soundly and so convincingly, it's hard to say that's not the case. Georgia looked like they were almost just lollygagging through that game at times. They were just almost lollygagging. And it was just almost a time for us to sit back and laugh. I went out and went out to a local eatery here in the area that I stay, and I was, watching the game, and I left this eatery at halftime because Georgia was, I could say, okay, they're going to dominate this team. I mean, they had one guy had 2 interceptions in the first half, and that of, Bullock, that defensive back that played for Georgia, he had 2 interceptions in the first half. When I saw that, I said, okay, this is going to be a joke. And as you saw, Georgia beat TCU like they stole something. It was just ridiculous. And you can even see by this picture of Stetson Bennett running a touchdown here. He just looked like he's all relaxed. He's not really sweating it too much. And he just looked like he had just been doing this his whole life. It just was that easy looking for UGA. UGA basically busted a coverage in the first quarter when one of the safeties got confused whether he should stick with one of the receivers and the defensive back didn't know to go stick with that receiver that went up the field for TCU. That basically is what happened to give TCU that sole touchdown. They never came close again. The game was a complete joke. Georgia, like, they were just kind of almost playing like a glorified scrimmage. But again, me being a UGA fan, I most certainly did not mind that. And I'd like to say congratulations to the Georgia Bulldogs for their second straight back-to-back national championship score. As we saw on Saturday, the Georgia Bulldogs hosted a parade in Athens, where they go to school at, over there in Athens, Georgia. And you saw the players walking down the aisle, taking pictures, recording video, while the fans stood on the side of the street high-fiving them, cheering them. And nobody knew about the tragedy on Saturday that was going to take place the very next day. And this is what really, really kind of got me, man. It was just hard to believe we heard about this. The very next day, on Sunday at 2 o'clock in the morning, there were 2 offensive linemen. One you see here to the left was named Devin Willock. I believe he's a red shirt sophomore, or either a red shirt junior. And Devin had played extensively throughout this year. And so he was one of the guys that they're celebrating just the day before on Saturday. And so he was riding in this Ford Expedition, as I understand, not only with another Georgia Bulldog offensive lineman, Warren McClendon, who recently declared for the NFL draft. Well, he declared for the NFL draft on Saturday, late Saturday. Did Warren McClendon, who is not pictured. And to the right of Devin Willock, it was a young woman who was driving the vehicle they were traveling in. Her name was Chandler LaCroix. She was a UGA staff member, and I think there was another young lady that was traveling with those three. And I can't remember her name off the top of my head. But either way, what happened is that apparently Chandler was driving this Ford Expedition with Devin, Warren, and another person along in that expedition. And she was trying to go through a curve, and apparently she lost control of the vehicle. And I think it hit some trees, and Devin was thrown from the vehicle. He was killed pretty much instantly at the scene, was Devin. So it was a horrific tragedy that took place, man, when UGA is just riding high. It was very sad to see. And again, they're still early. The police are still early in doing their investigation, so we don't know if there's alcohol involved on the part of Devin or any of the other players. But if there was alcohol involved, Warren McClendon probably is just best served to go to the NFL, because that's going to probably follow him if they all were kind of drinking and stuff. I mean, you would just pray that that's not the case. But good God Almighty, man, that's sad. And so UGA has just felt a mixture, man, of emotions this past weekend with that tragedy taking place. And, you know, it's two young people. I think Devin, he was only 20 years old. And I think Chandler, she was like 24 or something like that. So it was just sad, man, to see that. It was just very, very sad to see that happen. And so UGA kind of closed out this championship run on a somber note. And it's just a message to young people, man. No matter how high you are, you can feel a low before you know it. Life is short. Life is precious. Again, congratulations to the Georgia Bulldogs on their national championship run. But I want to say rest in peace to Mr. Devin Willock and Miss Chandler LaCroix. Like I said, I think Warren McClendon, he was only treated with minor injuries. And that other third young lady, I think she has more injuries, but she's just expected to recover. So a little bit of both emotions over this past week and a half since the Bulldogs have won the national championship. Hopefully the families of Devin Willock and Chandler LaCroix can get through this tough time with the assistance and the hope and prayers to God. They can be able to move through this horrific tragedy, and they can just move on with their lives and use God's grace to take them through this difficult time. And like I said, it's kind of hard to explain, given that, you know, you had to weave all this stuff together with a championship victory and then two devastating losses of human life like that. Either way, man, congratulations to the Georgia Bulldogs. As a Bulldog fan, I'm going to close out my video by saying, go Dogs. If you like the video, click the like button. If you don't subscribe, click the subscribe button. She got J. Crew to you coming at you once again on January 18th, 2023 with the video. Y'all be easy, man.